Here we are talking about our sunflowers today. Just some things I've observed this year that's different from last year that I didn't know that I've learned. And number one, I have planted a large variety of sunflowers, and some I seed saved from last year. Some are supposed to be single headed sunflowers, and some are supposed to be different colors. This one here, I had some last year that was yellow in color, and I called it a multi-face sunny or a sunflower tree because it had multiple heads on it, and they were the regular sunflower yellow color. Well, as you can see, this is part orange and part yellow, and there's multiple faces on it. This one is too, so you can kind of see the color difference there. And so I have a lot of sunflowers that have turned into what I call the sunflower trees, which have multiple faces. This is one of our little regular single sunflowers. It's just got one head on it, and it will only have one. This one was two. That one has started losing some of its leaves. But notice this one up here and its colors. It's a totally darker orange opening up, but it's going to have multiple heads on it, just like these over here. But it's a different color. So my research that I have done on these tell me, I ask if they can cross-pollinate, because a lot of my colors are changing, and then a lot of them that I were expecting to be single-headed sunflowers are turning out to be the multiple head flowers, which I love because it's bringing me a lot more variety and beauty to enjoy. And the bees are enjoying it very much, as you can see there too. They love it. So I'll show you another example down here. So here is another one. I think that was supposed to be what we call an autumn beauty. It's very dark color, but it should be a single head sunflower. But as you can see, it is also going to have multiple faces. And this one over here, this is another example of the one that's going to have multiple faces. And now look at that one's color compared to the one on the other side, which is darker. So they have cross-pollinated, and there's one of the single ones back there that you see that's just going to be a single head sunflower. So I have planted lots of varieties here, and I'm getting a lot of cross-pollination, and it looks like he might be a yellow one as well. We will have to wait and see on him. But then up there, as you can see, that one trying to open is going to have more of the orange and yellow again on it. So it's interesting because I've planted some autumn beauties, velvet queens. Autumn beauties are more of the orangey color, yellow, and the velvet queens are dark, like that one over there is. But the interesting thing is they're only supposed to be one head on them, and there's multiple. And this one that's getting so tall up here also has multiple. It's going to have multiple blooms. So just an interesting observation there. And here are my sunflowers on the other side. So that's one of the mammoth sunflowers. I just call him Sunny because he usually grows up to just be one big giant headed sunflower. He's got the big head. But right next to it, of course, we've got this one that I suppose was going to be an autumn beauty, but since it's cross-pollinated, it's going to have multiple faces. And I have some more mammoths down there, as you can see. Another neat thing is that I have learned is, from what I have read, a lot of the younger sunflowers, before they're 100% mature, will follow the sun. Their faces will follow the sun during the day. But the more mature sunflowers, they will always face the eastern sky. And I always find that fascinating because, you know, that can be a spiritual reference there. If we're spiritually mature Christians, we should be looking in expectation toward the eastern sky. That's where our Lord's going to return, in the eastern sky. And so I think that that's interesting that they try to face the east. Some of the ones with multiple faces will be facing another direction, but most sunflowers will face the east, just like that one that's trying to start blooming out there. He's looking toward the east, and all of these started out the same way. So I found that fascinating, but just wanted to share that little observation, just a little thing I've learned about my sunflowers, and hope you've enjoyed that little tutorial and sharing some of the things I'm learning. I learn something new every year that I garden. And of course, I love my sunflowers, and I know many of you enjoy them too.